Okay, bear with me for a second here. I kind of pissed around my chair. I was gonna go no hat, but then I was just looking at myself in the camera and just saw how bad the hair was. And I mean, I'm not one to really care, but it just looked too bad, you know. So here we go. Sport in Barcelona today. Didn't have a good game against Napoli from the score that I saw. I didn't catch the end to that, but it was 1-1 at one point at home in the Europa League. So not what you want to do if you're a Barcelona player, but whatever. We're here from F1, and that's what we'll get. If you're just able to look at the title below, you will see that we are with, maybe a little bit higher, there we go, we are with the Division 2 boys here. So we'll see what the Division 2 drivers can bring us here in Portimao, as well as in the title, and as well as up on your screen right now. There you go. So yes, Portugal to come. We've been here a couple times, no, once actually, because this is the first time it's been in. This is the first game it's been in. There we go. This is the second time we've been here. But yes, very fun track. We had some fun last time we were here, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. Just waiting to get the lobby all set up here, as per usual. If you're new to the Midwest F1 League, that happens quite a bit. So just a couple minutes, and we should be underway into qualifying there, as per usual. Your 16-minute qualifying followed by the 50% race, and yeah, if you haven't seen Division 2 before, it is quite fun. Very tight, very fast. Probably more competitive than Division 1 can be some days. And we'll see what is to take place here this evening. But yes, Portugal is a fun track. It offers up some passing opportunities, and like I mentioned last time we were here, turn 8 on the middle left side of your screen there is a very dangerous one. So we've got to keep an eye out on that one, and hopefully the drivers do as well. And who are the drivers this evening? Well, I've got a fancy new mock-up that has been, I want to say half-heartedly done, but I did spend some decent little time on that. So there you go. These are the drivers that we'll be expecting here today. Not exactly, actually, when I say we'll be expecting most of them. Fuse Rogue will actually not be there. Kitten Petter is stepping up in the Alpine, no, the AlphaTauri. Tiak is coming in for the McLaren, as Tiger NASCAR won't be there. Static Hazard jumping up from Division 3 for NFS light work, and Chariot Coleslaw in for JCast. Lobby here. It slowly works its way to being complete. But Division 2 standings, you know, we'll change it up a little bit. We'll look at the Constructors' Championship first. McLaren, 1 point ahead of Mercedes, and they've kind of separated themselves over 100 points away from Williams and AlphaTauri, 50 points back of Williams. Now this is a not exact number, so I know how to do math. I'm just giving you rough estimates here in Alpine, rounding out the top 5 ahead of Alfa Romeo and Red Bull, who are just sitting in behind. And on to what took place in these past few weeks while we haven't been here. JCast found himself with a win. Edwin won in France, and Jonathan Dunk won in Baku. So that's 3 different race winners, 3 straight weeks. And we have seen a couple of podiums there. Light work finishing 3rd and 3rd, and Nicky getting his first podium of the year. So we'll see if we can continue the streak of different winners. But you can just see how competitive Division 2 is there when we have 5 different race winners through the first. Am I missing a week? I am missing a week. I really thought that I got that. Let me see here. I might have it. just updated itself here. Alright, here we go. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, see, I thought Edwin won. Alright, so yeah, Edwin won. J-Cast, podium, and back-to-back, and Unholy Red-Eye with their first podium. So 5 race winners through 7 tracks. And we'll see what the last track of the first half of the season will bring us here in Portimao until we go to the short trip to Barcelona. Very short trip, actually. And another very short trip to Imola. And then we start getting a little bit of distance there into Marina Bay, Bahrain, Jeddah, and Zandvoort, Albert Park of Australia, of course, and Shanghai to close the season. So a very heavy European trip other than for these next couple races here, as well as the one behind. And yeah, it's a lot of exciting things to come here. And over to the Division 2 Drivers' Championship. The battle, of course, for promotion. Now this is where, if you are in the relegation zone, you may start getting a little bit worried. We're going to look at Forza Juve, Shelly Turtle, and Scuba Steve there. Scuba, of course, dropping down from Division 1. So Loco getting relegated from Division 1 last year. Nero Nix nearly having Division 2. 1 now is in somewhat of the relegation battle as well. But we look up at the top now. NFS Light Work leading the way. Tiger NASCAR and Mitch Burns. Second and third, Tiger NASCAR getting relegated last season, I believe it was as well. So finding a little bit of form now, and seemingly looking to go back up into Division 1. Now, I just want to confirm that. Yeah, no, okay. Tiger NASCAR didn't get relegated last year. See, when I was saying it, it felt wrong, and yeah, I was right in the end. It was wrong. Last season, Tiger NASCAR, I believe, was still in Division 2, actually. And yeah, just missed out on going up into Division 1. So trying to correct that this season. J-Cast, of course, finding some solid form, getting a couple podiums in the last couple of races. And Evil Prime, just not too far back. Nikki, of course, a former Division 1 driver as well. So a lot of drivers still within a shout. And there's some drivers that are kind of might start getting a little bit nervous here, but quickly we'll go on to the results of last week before we get you into qualifying here in Portimao for Division 2. Now that is that is actually Spa round 7, so I've got to change that. That's on me. And what? That didn't update either. What in the world? Yeah, see, there's a little bit of fuckery afoot here. Div 1 results. I think it did this last week too. When I went to go check if it was all good, it juked me. Fancy graphics, yeah. Very fancy. So just take me a second to update these. What a joke. Now I'm starting to question. I don't think those Division 2 graphics were updated as well. There we go. Yeah, they were not. Oh, for Pete's sake. I try not to swear on stream. I really would like to sometimes. Oh my god, okay. Retry that. Division 2 Construction Championship. Way different now. Okay, McLaren's kind of opened up the gap a little bit. Mercedes, Williams, AlphaTauri, and Alpine still in the top 5. And here we go. This is the big difference here now. Lightwork still leading the way. Tiger NASCAR second. Mitch Burns still third. And the same guys that were still in the hunt are still in the hunt. Shelly the Turtle being very kind in chat. Thank you very much, Shelly. Appreciate that. But there we go. See, I did change it. So there you go. Cake Thomas got his first ever win in Division 1 last week. Matt Rosie came second and Scabney third. Scabney lighting it up. As we'll quickly go check this, and then we'll come back to this at another point. Scabney with the 4th podium through 7 races on unbelievable form. Matt Rosie picking up his 3rd in 7 races as well. So him finding the form back in it. We are about to get some drivers on some hot laps here. Who seems to be the first one? I think it's Mitch Burns. So he's just swinging around the final turn, and we will get into the first hot lap here in Portugal for the 2nd time. Now we'll swing down the pit straight, and then we're going to drop down this little hill here. I'm going to try and open up the clean line here, which can be an easy place to invalidate. Sounds like Mitch comes off the throttle a little bit to be sure that this is a clean lap. And not getting up any on that curve. This is as well another area where you can lose it as well as invalidate. Keeps it clean, not pushing all too hard. This seems to be quite the banker here for Mitch. Currently sitting in the top 3 in the Drivers' Championship, as you just saw, and contributing very well to the Constructors also. He is coming around. Pull up my track map here. And this is the dreadful turn 8. And taking very much pedestrianly. And then we come back down to the left-hander of turn 9, and then we swing around to turn 10. To extend that line as much as possible. Decides not to do all too much, and you can pretty much pin it all the way up to this hill to the hard braking left-hander of turn 13. Now this is where you can take a couple of different lines. We saw last time Jacko was kind of out-braking himself, but was seemingly working in the end. Mitch Burns does not decide to extend that all too much, and he takes a very tight line over the finish line, and he comes in first place. Evil Prime does not dismount him from the top spot. Nero Nix to start a hot lap. No. But I think it is Edgar next over. Scuba Steve dropping down to Division 1, going 4th. Is that Hightower? No, that's Soy Loco in 4th. Sherry is in pit. Shelly the Turtle in 4th also. Kent Petter starting hot lap. Hightower invalidates, or is invalid. And the times are flying in here. Static Hazard starting his hot lap. Of course, if you've been around for a while, you know Stat. Former co-caster of myself, Nine, giving him a shout out to future Stat, where I'm hoping he goes back and can watch this and know that Past Crash is rooting from in this race. Or present Crash, Past Crash to you. And look, we have a little bit of a kerfuffle there, and Forza Juve is out. Who's the AlphaTauri there? Is that Kitten Petter? No, it seems to be Mitch Burns. Get on board. And what has happened there? Forza Juve is done. Near Nix comes 3rd. Edgar's actually set his quickest time on mediums. Tiak, former Division 1 boy, in Division 2 in reserve this evening. So yeah, that's Forza Juve gone. Who's into the slipstream there? I don't know, both drivers are into the pit actually. And now Kitten Petter comes over and takes pole position away from Scoop Steve. And Hightower going over 9th, completing his lap from before. Edwin swinging around that big right-hander. Looking to try and keep a loose line here. And comes over that set line for 146, maybe setting himself up for next race. Next lap, A. Daltonian improving his time. And I believe this is Stat. Around the final turn, up that hill, and over the line into 12. Then with 143, I'm assuming that there's been a mistake somewhere on the track. He's going to go back around. And he's already invalid, and he will probably come to the pit as these tires are most likely starting to get quite worn. 14 drivers to set up time. Where's the U-base? Oh, we didn't catch exactly what took place there. But that's a driver without a time. And he's most likely be able to backpack, seeing as everyone's most likely just set a time. Unless we have some other chaos. Hoping not, but the one man that is for is the U-Bay, so he feels like he's not the only person to have done it. Scuba, you'd be on low fuel mode. And there you go, Edwin launches all the way up into pole position there. Pit. Stat is way down this time, but about stat you're gonna be able to feel holding up. No flag in sector 1, that's around turn 5. Cherry coleslaw and the medium's looking to come over with the time. On best laps now. Let's see what changed. Right now, Edgar is in a pretty good spot in the mediums in the top 5. And Sherry Coleslaw jumps all the way up into 10. Edgar's on a hot lap with Ferrari of Capital. Starting a hot lap, young DJ CJ coming over for his first hot lap, so they'll go starting on as well. People Prime next. Hazard going purple through sector 2. Now he is completely out of ERS, and we saw him entering turn 1 without it. So he's gone virtually a full hot lap here with no ERS. But going purple through sector 2 is quite impressive feat. Sitting in a 143.01, obviously not the time that he's controlled to keep for qualifying here, and his improvement will launch from all the way up to 9th place. We've got here next about to start a hot lap as well. Tori, GSR Edgar going purple through sector 2. He's looking to retake pole position or to overtake for pole position. Right now, up on his time. He's going for medium or softs now. We have McLaren pulled off to the side, beginning of sector 3, right around turn 12, that is. There you go, GSR Edgar does go fastest. And is that Capital? Yes, it is. Capital, one of the slowest time setters. And Soy Loco jumps up into 6th. Is that Merc? I imagine that's Nikki. Mitch Burns going purple through sector 1. Oh, and right on board with Nicky as he loses it in turn 4. Now, a dangerous area, if there was actual racing, if there was IRL racing, it was a very dangerous area to spin. Kind of blind as well. Aero racing is on it, starting to push all that. And here we go, we're going to have a bunch of them coming in hot and heavy here. Starting with Mitch Burns. Down and holds a central line and comes over a line and into 4th place right behind his teammate Get Better. I believe this is young DJ now. Young DJ first time. Round once more after validating again. Nicky into the pit after that spin. Soy into the pit. Here next, followed by Aero Racing Design, I believe. The nearest one into the pit, Aero Racing. drivers to set a time here and goes 18. GSR Edwin looking to go for the fastest lap. Got to go into the lower half of 116s to get it done. GSR Edgar sitting at a 116.599. Hit. DJ surely hit. Get better should hit. It will have one more attempt. Is that Eagle Prime out of fuel? Just pulled off to the side. Shelly with turtle behind. I believe Shelly is not a hot lap. Nothing wrong there. Scoop Steven Valid sitting 5th right now. He's gonna take another go at it here. DRS wing is open. Daltonian about to start one. Arrow racing way down on his time, way up on his time. So Low flag to begin sector 1, but I believe that's just drivers getting out of the way. And Arrow racing goes all the way up to 6th. Edwin is valid, but he's gonna have another go at that. No, he won't. He's gonna come from pit. Sure, full slow off, start one. Tiak way off. Go. Anyone on a honest hot lap here? Or we all just wait a minute. Let's go to Steve. Steve needs to take a big bite out of his 3rd sector time here to take pole away from Edgar. Running out of fuel as well. So about as light as the car can get for Scuba, he will not be able to go around again on this tire at least. I think it might be the end of his qualifying as well. He moves up to 4th. Daltonian into the pit was down up on his time. Right. Look at that. Just goes against me. So Sharia is invalid. We go again. Hightower is on one. Stat. Here we go. What can Stat do? He's quite the ways away from pole right now. Now some drivers just kind of get this track, and some drivers just don't. And Stat has a good chunk of this track figured out, going all the way up into 6th. I believe that's Edgar invalid though, so he's going to come around once again, but he's very low on ERS. And I think this is probably his last go. He won't be able to come back in and pit. Oh, that's Hightower. Hightower jumps up into 14th. Merc of Nicky, 4/10 up on his time, and he goes to 13th. Low fuel mode, he'd be Scuba. Alright. That's quite the way to approach that, but hey, to each their own. And Edgar's looking like he's going to improve on his fastest lap here, and yes, he does. Makes pole ever so much farther to reach now. Mitch Burns will come into closest qualifying. Hightower looking to improve and goes into 14th. It's not Young. It's Tiak. is done. Pity comes. Young is up on his time. He can actually take a couple of positions here, and yes he does. Jumps up into 9th. Who are we looking for here? Who are we looking for? We're looking for Shelly the Turtle to start one more time. Get the clock. We got a minute left, so almost running at our last couple of proper efforts here. Edwin's got to go around once more. Soy looking to jump up, going to the top 10, maybe even more. And oh, what didn't happen there? It looked like he was up on his time. Kent Petter starting his final hot lap. Oh, where did that come from? Starting to run really low on time here for a lot of these drivers. Tiak improves to 12. AE way up and goes 13th. It's young DJ. Followed by Arrow. There you go, qualifying timer is up. Arrow Racing jumps near Nick's. Jumps. And Shelly goes 3rd. Very late time set. Ferrari of Capital. Edwin cannot take pole. Oh. Wow, that's so tight. What we got here? We got Kitten Petter though. Kitten Petter still with the hope, but no, actually that is it for Kitten. Evil Prime goes purple through sector 2. Maybe a little bit of dark horse here for pole. Purple sector 2 really helps it out. Altonian is done. Peek at that. Aerial Racing. Tiak is probably done as well. What can Evil Prime do? He's out of ERS, comes up over the mound and into 9th place. That's all she wrote for Tiak. For AE. Soy's done as well, and that will close the qualifying. Here we go. While we have a moment for all these drivers to come back into the pits, we'll get back to what was Division 1. And for the first time, I believe in his career in Division 1, Scavney holds, I can definitely say that with confidence, Scavney for the first time in his Midwest career takes the lead in the overall standings in Midwest F1. Let's see here, he's got 579, GSR Ryan Rods at 574, 5 points back, very tight gap. They have completely separated themselves from everyone else. Hash sits in 3rd with Cake in 4th and Possible in the top 5 as well. Jacko sitting 6th, Mystic is dropping down to 7th, Detail 8th, JC Blackley 9th, and Smith Pell in the top 10. Oh, does that mean is Mystic back? Oh, he is back. Mystic has gotten over his guys, I got a bogus TQ for qualifying. But there we go. Final qualifying order here. Ryan Rods comes over. Or what am I saying? Sorry. Edgar over in 1st. Edwin in 2nd, Kitten Petter 3rd, Shelly Turtle 4th, Scuba Steve 5th, Arrow Racing Design 6th, Mitch Burns 7th, Near Nix 8th, Evil Prime 9th, Static Hazard in the top 10, Young DJ CJ 1st with the option, Soy Loco having a grid penalty, so it'll be Tiak, Daltonian, Sherry Coleslaw, Nikki, then Soy Loco, High Tower, Capital, Houdini, and Force Juve in the back. So that is a good little teaser for what can happen here in Portimao. Now, the GSR boys up at the top are looking real hot, but potential rain maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, something may be in the cards here. We don't know. Anything can happen in racing, as well as anything can happen in a very tight lobby as one as this is. Wow. That was 2 weeks ago already. Right, just waiting for this down to end. Yes, the lobby is completely close. Good luck, guys. I mean, stay clean and race fast, but I don't want to be out there. And you know what? Honestly, when it's this close, and everyone loves winning a close game more than a blowout. A blowout is nice to happen, but a close game, in the end, is really more one that you will remember. Of course, we got the formation lap to come first, so still a little bit of time before we can get her going here. But a two-stop strategy seems to be suggested by the game, but you know how much things can change when we actually get into it here. And there's always just one little thing that I mess up here. I just noticed that my graphic, the AlphaTauri, was not supposed to be red lettering. That doesn't make sense. It was supposed to be blue. Does that make sense? Is there a blue team? Everything else I'm content with. Well, crap. Can't be perfect, I guess, eh? That's just a lesson for all you great, fine folks out there. Is, nothing is given. If that ever intertwines at all. But, I mean, it's true in different aspects of what I was just talking about. They have no bridge between each other, but it's okay. I need to get used to looking at the camera. I always look somewhere on my screen and it looks different, but yeah. I'm hoping we're going to have a good race here. I'm hoping that everyone can enjoy it. Thank you once again for everyone that's tuning in. If you're new to the stream, be sure to go and check out our titled sponsors, that being EPOS Gaming. And you don't want that. You want that. Okay. EPOS, go do !EPOS in chat and it'll bring you up to the link to the EPOS store and you can get some high quality headphones or a fancy dancy mic, which is what you're hearing me off of right now. Don't think that if you get a mic it's going to make you sound better, because if anything it's made me sound worse, because people can hear me more clear. The little scratchiness made me sound a little bit cooler, but no. The scratchiness just helped out the fact of my terrible voice. So that is a real bad sale that I just did there. So, but hey, you know what? Go get one if you really need one. Honestly, its quality is rated the top 10 in all of streaming, as well as MWF1 at checkout for all your raised energy needs. But without further ado, as I do enjoy to say that from time to time, Edgar and Edwin up on the front row here in Portimao. The lights go out, and we've got Edwin on the inside line, but looks like Edgar gets a good enough jump. And Kitten Petter looking to go around the outside here, and Edwin just sneaks his nose down there, but Edgar closes the door. Scuba Steve up in fourth place. Shelly Turtle dropping back down into now what is fourth place. So actually regaining position, but Scuba Steve goes down the inside line and pushes Shelly outside on turn 4. And we got a little bit of a drag all the way down into turn 5 here, but looks like Scuba Steve's got the inside line, and makes a little bit of contact, and we have our first partial spin and a little bit more contact between Mitch Burns and Evil Prime there, and we'll get on board with these two wily birds. And now we might start seeing a little bit of chaos. Shelly Turtle going off wide of turn 8, and they can't get too heavy on the throttle there. Everyone be very careful. You got to get through the turn before you can make up places, and it seems like everyone's done so. Sharia Clawsaw is a little bit back behind the pack, and we have quite a extra little group in behind what is the lead pack, as things are opening up quicker than what was anticipated. Young DJ CJ sniffing the butt of the Australian Static Hazard and taking an alternate line as Stat. Shelly the Turtle must have some side pod damage, as he is dropping all the way down into 10th place now. We'll swing around the final turn. Forza Juve going off and deep onto the curb, and that won't make up any time. Pulling up, the position changes here. Static Hazard looking to add another, but Evil Prime sends it around the outside and holds that position. But Stat once again sticking his nose back down, and now Shelly the Turtle's got those tires back to temperature and is now trying to make up some position. Snaky and Hightower, first two drivers in pit. They didn't want to take that award solos. They decided to do it together, so both of them can get the first pit stop of the race. Now we have a different predicted tire strategy. Come on, game, figure it out. But we continue on. Not much happening as of right now, but I mean, it's to be expected. No DRS. We're in a technical area of the circuit. But Kitten Petter is doing a good job of staying with Edwin. But Edgar is trying to continue his qualifying form and show and prove that he is the quickest driver on this track right now. And now we have to remember the rule change of only one maneuver down the straight, first straight. And with just the 8 of the slipstream, Kitten Petter's right back on the tail of Edwin. And Edwin actually closed the gap to Edgar here. Is that just a couple of bad turns for Edgar, or is Edwin actually closing that gap? Shelly the Turtle now right on with the boost of Static Hazard. And taking a peek at the inside line of turn 5 and braking a little deeper than Stat did there, and a tiny bit of contact, but nothing too great between the two drivers. Well, thank you anyone that is tuning in on Thursday. We are kind of going through the lull on Tuesdays right now, so we will get back to it. I am just planning on just jumping on stream and start streaming my career and seeing how that goes. So, yeah, mine as well, right? Got nothing else planned for the rest of the season, so just might do that. Just a long week this week, and I needed that Tuesday off, so be expecting it to come next week, and be expecting Edgar to be in defense down turn 1 with Edwin going around the outside and then hard defending Edgar. These guys, I imagine, are very familiar with each other, but a real poor line was set up there for Edgar, and now Kitten Petter with a major run out of turn 4. Oh, had the thought of diving down the inside of turn 5, but couldn't quite complete it. Now we've got Edwin leading the race, Edgar in second, right alongside Kitten Petter, and Kitten Petter looks for a little bit of switchback in turn 8, but we got to be careful here, guys. And everyone is. It's a major movement down here. Shelly the Turtle finding a little bit more difficulties. Now Capital going around the outside, and there you go. Shelly the Turtle spun out in turn 8. Just an unfortunate race so far for Shelly, but still very early. A lot of points are up for grab. You don't know what's to come, so kind of head down and back to it. Full prime is all there. Now that is extremely debatable, seeing how he's 8th right now. But you know what? I'm a fan of Eagle Prime, so I'll let that one play on. There goes Scuba Steve up through Nero Nix, and into turn 1 goes Scuba cleanly through, and really got to battle that track limit there through turn 1. You really need to get on the edge to get as much pace as possible out there. Sharia getting in position on Houdin. And Josh, good to see you in the chat. Sharia looking to pull away. And I haven't looked at the tire compounds quite yet. Adolf winning the highest up the order in the medium. Shelly the turtle spun off around turn 4, and Shelly's day goes from bad to worse. Air Racing has kept up with these very quick drivers. And now Scuba Steve up ahead of Nero Nix, who's going to try and close that gap to the drivers ahead. And it looks like he's doing it ever so slowly. Spin and a position change, and first Edgar goes through on Edwin. Young DJ and Adoltonian get real tight up on the tail of Stat. He actually overextends turn 1 limits, so that should be a warning for him, and then outbreaks himself going into turn 3. You can really feel the pressure of Adoltonian. Goes up and off. Front pack is still holding it close together. I'm going to run through and take a look at the ERSs, and Kid Cutter looks like he's safe on the most. Edwin and Edgar are battling it out every lap, it seems. The yellow flag with Shelly the Turtle coming into the pit and retiring. And that's the first DNF of the race. So local Young DJ will switch over to that, and that's actually Young DJ going off. Back on track and force Juve down the inside line. Oh, I hate it when this happens. They retire the car in the pit. The game just breaks and pulls them out of the pit to retire on track. Nero Nix is going to get switched back here by Scuba Steve. Scuba got so much better of a jump out, but Nero Nix kind of mistimed him a little bit there, or forced him into a mistime rather, and Scuba Steve's back up front, but now has lost a second to this pack up ahead. Now he really needs to try and close this gap, with Nero Nix not really caring about it. He's trying to get the position on Scuba. See Kit better get any bit more aggressive here. Edgar is losing a little bit of pace to Edwin there. But it looks like Kit Cutter might take the opportunity and now jump up into second place. Edgar can't defend. Kit Cutter's turn to try and overtake Edwin. Edgar's flying back. I'm on the ERS save. Scuba Steve was able to get away. And whoa, Static Hazard and Evil Prime battling it out. And Evil Prime looking for a switchback here on Stat. And now looking for another one here through turn 4. Just want to get over crazy on the throttle. should have Stat and Mercy here, and Stat goes to defend the inside line. He's going to push Evil out wide, and taking the shorter way around that turn has not helped him enough in the end, and it is Evil Prime still gaining that position up into 8th place. But Stat forcing Evil Prime into a little bit of an oversteer snap there, but does well to save it. But it looks like we've got Soy Loco spun out there, and exactly it's that. Turn 8 it is. Oh, there we go. What do I know, eh? Just call him turn 8 before the spin on capital is important out. And what's happened? It seems like we've had most of our spun drivers at that turn. So I don't know. I don't want to brag or anything. I know some others. And here we go. Kitten Petter now going to push Edwin right on the track limits. And Edwin's going to try and break deep around the outside. Kitten Petter's just forcing him into a poor line here and really opens up turn 4. And then snaps it back down through and hitting the apex nice and cleanly. And now he's got him at his mercy down the inside line and cleanly into first place. But a little bit of a peak there from Edwin, but not the best place on the track. Just stay close, and it's your turn to get the overtake going into turn 1. Now can Kitten Petter pull away? I mean, if you guys really want to show support in Evil Prime, I mean, a follow him here. Right? What am I to say? And I hate those guys that do beg for follows, but being in the position that I am completely okay with it. Near Nick's first into the pit for a proper pit stop. Forza Juve, he's now going to try and gain a position to go up in the top 10. He will get the top 10, but now overtakes one Haas in the pit, and overtakes the other one on the straight, and he is up into 9th place, goes the Alpine, and now he's going to try and work on extending that gap on the 8L20. But he's actually on the softs, and he's sitting on the mediums. So kind of unexpected, really, for A to get overtaken at this point. But Forza Juve just might be on a bender here. Arrow Racing just staying close, really. Not overexerting himself too much, just catching the slipstream as it's given, and then making sure that he's just right there in case something crazy can happen. But I also think that a little bit of his pace is lacking with these front 3. He seems to be overstressing on the ERS in comparison to the 2 drivers ahead. We're not going to get an overtake here from first place. Kitten Petter's going to come back to the racing line and hit that apex. Houdini and Nero Nix, as Nero Nix gets Houdini coming out of the pit. And Edwin getting the first coming in the top. So that makes things a little bit more difficult. And Evil Prime getting a penalty as well, so no static hazard. He's would be jumped up ahead of them. And these 2 drivers have kind of fallen off the pace in the top 6. Scoop Steve is trying to catch the top 4, but it seemed to be very difficult. He may have been able to hold pace with them if we were to get that ERS train as Aero Racing designers, but as it's sitting right now, it's quite a difficult task, because they're not really over battling themselves either. They're just kind of swapping first place and not allowing a battle to kind of extend for 3-4 turns. It seemingly happens in one go, and then that's it, it's accepted. You slot back into the line. Speaking of a battle here, Stat just can't reach the ERS, but he's actually, or the DRS, sorry, but he'll just jump into the pit. Another driver pitting for their first time. We'll see where he comes out in comparison to Nero next. Yeah, from what I remember, Nero was a lot farther up the road than Stat. The Stat's going to go for the hards here. So we'll see what these hards can do in what is a technical circuit in some areas. Sherry all over the back of Capital. Forces slowly close that gap to Evil Prime as well. Sorry, 3 of the 4 all coming from pit. Kitten Petter actually stays out. So quite a very important time here. We'll take a peek at Kitten Petter's splits when he comes over and crosses the line to finish Sector 2, but it's somewhat of a qualifying lap here for him. He's on some older softs. Drivers behind come in for some fresh mediums. Very importantly, Edgar gets trapped behind Tiak, and Edwin kind of slots into the train of Chariot Coleslaw. And dumb me forgot to look at the splits here, so I'm assuming he's going to come into the pit. What can Edwin do? But yeah, he's caught behind Capital and Coleslaw. He's going to send it around the outside and gets a little bit of a piece of Capital, and then Capital gets knocked by Edgar, may have it been? But Capital being in the wrong place at the wrong time, kind of being in an area that he was not planning on and not wanting to be a part of, and in the end gets spun out, and now his race is completely changed from that fact. And now we've got Kitten Petter who's going to come out of the pit. You can see just coming over the crest is Edwin, but Kitten Petter is going to come back out and is going to hold on to the lead, and actually has about the same gap. So Edwin getting held up by that group behind really helped him out, and now Edgar and Aero Racing are out of the slipstream / DRS window of Edwin. So now these two got to get a move on to try and close that gap. Now it's Aero Racing who's going to go down the inside line on Edgar, and somewhat of the truce that was had through the first 13 laps is somewhat gone, as Aero Racing was one in that position. Edgar doing well to mitigate that pressure that Aero Racing did put on there. And now he's over 2 seconds back to Edwin. And Edwin is following Kitten Petter. Mitch Burns and Scuba Steve, the last of the runners to go into the pit off of their race starting sauce. Petter has to be very careful of swinging back over to take that racing line, but does do a good job, and very clean one. Now Aero Racing sets up Edgar for a very poor launch out of turn 4. Now with the aid of ERS, but a spun Soy Loco, we go down into turn 5, and once again Aero trying to push Edgar out wide, but Edgar does a good job and holds the position, still in net 3rd place as a Daltonian started on the mediums and is still yet to pit. all this has kind of brought Scuba Steve back within a shout. He's 3 seconds back of that group up ahead. He's got his teammate a second and a half up the road, who's yet to pit. Knows that Scuba is more likely to get more points here. Now, of course, Tiak is a replacement for this evening, so we'll see if maybe team orders will even be acknowledged into play here, as Tiak has no connection to Division 2 at all. But Edwin does go past Kittenpetter. Edgar and Aero Racing are falling off, and Aero Racing finally gets ahead of Edgar, and these two drivers, the battling is somewhat taking them out of the chances for second place, as that penalty to Edwin is not as ferocious to him now, with Aero Racing and Edgar battling it out so much. And this is not what Edgar was hoping for, taking pole, but now stuck in 4th place, being overtaken by Aero Racing. And Scuba Steve does go through. Now Nero Nix is caught behind, but what will Tiak do? How hard will he battle this out? He does need to try and keep these mediums going if he is going to want to try and send these things the rest of this race. He'll need about 6 more laps out of them. And I have no idea how much these things wear here. Portimao is still too new for me. Here we go. Kittenpetter not looking to overtake. And like I said earlier, I think Aero Racing was slightly off of the pace of Edwin, Kittenpetter, and Edgar. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. I really do believe he was being helped out by the toe. He was just doing enough to stay close, and then allowing that DRS to bring him back within striking distance. But 4.3 and change is the gap right now. Let's see if that changes. Edwin's now pulled himself within striking distance of A. Daltonian. Edgar gets back ahead of Aero Racing, but now that gap's at 4.7. So Kittenpetter and Edwin are just putting in some blistering pace right now. Now it's very important here. Kittenpetter can't allow Edwin to clear him. He's got to try and close this gap and potentially overtake A. Daltonian at the same time that Edwin overtakes A. Daltonian. And maybe Edwin holding very close to A. Daltonian. Kittenpetter needs to take a real clean final turn. And AE is actually taking a little bit of an alternate line. That's actually going to slow up Edwin a little bit. And he's going to dive into the pit. And Kittenpetter gets a really good launch out of the final turn. I don't think he's going to try and overtake. No, he's just going to hold off. And Edwin going off track again, so that's got to be another warning. Mitch Burns now with the pace to get through, and Nero Nix just slots back in behind. Still holding on is Edwin right now. Houdini very close in back of DJ, but Houdini's on way over mediums here. And he's definitely looking at a one-stop quantity sauce. So he's happy just to take this slipstream / DRS train from young DJ, but he's got a lot to do to try and hold that up for an entire lap. The difference of the entire medium compound tires is massive. So now this is all Kit and Petter has to do, is just stay close. He just has to virtually, he can ride the rest of this race here. With Edgar now 4.7 seconds back. He's pulled away from Aero Racing design finally. Scuba Steve slowly closing that gap to Aero Racing. Kit and Petter is sitting well and will snap a little oversteer there from Edwin. Saves it well. TX Soy Loco taking what is looked like the set strategy here, going 20 laps deep on this medium, 19-20 laps, and then into the pit for the softs to try and ride it out. Juve, right behind Evil Prime. Tiak picking up the penalties, so that's the bottom 7 drivers with penalty 8 Daltonian as well. Force Juve. Really close to Evil Prime there. I thought he was going to outbrake himself there, but did good to get that car slowed down. And it's really tough to get such a good launch out of turn 4 and then close that gap by turn 5. And not looking like it's going to be done there. Soy Loco and Tiak wheel to wheel around turn 2. In through 3, and TX not going to give up on this one. But Soy Loco is going to be able to go around the outside and get the job done. Back up into 14th he goes. Near Nix as well, just sitting back, kind of watching this battle take place. Static Hazard picking up his first penalty of the evening as we pull up the entire list of penalties. And there you go, majority of the lobby now with at least a 3-second penalty. Only 2 drivers though with 6 seconds, and Nikki with a 5-second penalty. Kit and Petter losing a little bit of pace to Edwin here. And Edwin has worked him out of DRS, so that's very important. Soy Loco taking fastest lap. Kit Petter's really trying to work himself back within DRS. But Edwin's just doing such a good job right now. Kit Petter just does still need to stay 3 seconds within, and Nikki spins out around turn 1. get on board with him. He cleans himself up. Don't see any visible damage to the Mercedes. Juve trying to close that gap to Evil Prime, but this straight just isn't long enough here. Does well hitting Apex, doesn't extend turn 1 as much as he can, but still close to that gap, back down to Evil Prime, but we're in the same situation as we were last lap. Where turn 4 is just so hard to get that good launch out of, and with no pressure from Evil Prime, he's able to do enough to hold on to 7th place. Edwin's really starting to find some pace here over Kit and Petter. Edgar is just falling off. We look at our position changes here. Forza Juve starting 20th, now up into 8th. Will that one lap difference between the top 2 drivers' tires really make any sort of difference in the end? Edwin's just found some crazy pace here. Nicky getting the blue flags. Petter's just got to keep it clean. There's 7 full laps left to go here. This race has flown by. You love to see it. Well, now I say, I mean, you don't love to see that it's gone by so quickly, but you love to see it that the reason why it's gone by so quickly, because, knock on wood, there hasn't been any VSC or safety car come out, and it's great for the viewing pleasure of everyone at home. And here we go, near next down the inside line of turn 5. He was just able to get it done. Actually, no, what a great job by TX sending it deeper on the outside. Nero Nix kind of forced himself into a really bad line there. He could have extended that apex a little bit more, and TX does a good job of seeing that little mistake. And Caster Cursed, potentially Zoolandi, good to see you in chat as well. Thanks for coming by. Now I say that very ignorantly of the no safety cars or VSCs here. I understand, I'm very well aware of the casting curse, and I have done it to a lot of drivers in the past. And I'm hoping that it doesn't happen here today, but hey, what do you know? So we'll see. Aero Racing Designs close that gap back down to Edgar. Edgar is just really losing some pace here after taking pole and looking like he was untouchable for the first 3 laps. Has really become mortal, if you will. Now Kitten Petters close that gap a little bit on Edwin, so that's huge for him. Edwin may have been over pushing these mediums a little bit. Still have some laps to go, so anything can happen. Right now our podium isn't fully entirely set. Aero Racing was on the outside looking in at one point, but now is sitting within reaching distance to Edgar and final podium position. Kitten Petter and Edwin should sit 1-2, but how will it sit? Kitten Petter right now with the advantage of Edwin's penalty, but you never know what is to happen. I don't want to pull up the race director and see how much penalties has Kitten Petter, because that will surely push the curse over the line. Sherry Coleslaw trying to get back Soy Loco. Can't quite. Stat came for those mediums so very long ago. And near Nyx is gone. And Wolf Caster Curse, get ready. There it is. Hey bro, your voice is lower than the gameplay. Okay, appreciate that. I'll just turn up my sensitivity a little bit. That's too good. The casting curse. You can... I should have put money on it. I really should have. You know what? Erskine Mail Cross? How about this? Let me see. One second, my guy. Screw it. Why not? We'll go balls out for Division 2 today. Evil Prime doesn't get a top 5 finish. You'll losing your balls. Okay, bet. I'll take you up on that offer. Camp Petter's still very much in with a shout for this dub here. But yeah, you did have it played very well. You're doing exactly what was needed. And Nicky was able to unlap himself, so he'll be back within a chance of picking up some spots, not having 18th place guaranteed, like what was looked to have been the situation. Yeah. He's just... Oh, what? Edgar with a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Oh my god. That is huge. So now Edgar is in some real trouble here, and unfortunately, everyone with the penalties at the back of the pack. Edwin is in a real difficult spot here with his 3 seconds of time penalties. The safety car probably won't come in for another lap. We still need Nicky and Capital to catch up. If it doesn't come in this lap, it'll be in next lap. But I honestly don't think it's coming in this lap. So I didn't catch if there was a notification there. My eyes were away from the screen. I will no longer be supporting Evil Time and team. He is fraudulent. Oh my god. Had $100 on Evil Prime winning this rate. Oh my goodness gracious. You obviously don't know Evil Prime that well then, because that is a terrible bet. I mean, I would honestly say that those odds were probably similar to, I'm not sure how much of F1 you follow, but Esteban Ocon's win in Hungary this season is just something that is an anomaly and no one could have predicted, really. this point right now, sitting in 13th place, 3 seconds of time penalties to be added on at the end of this race. Similar to a lot of the drivers here, so virtually he is just on straight, you know, equal to a lot of these drivers. So we're going to have lap 31 to be the restart, lap 32 to be the second lap with no DRS, and then the final lap will be the one and only lap of DRS that will be had for the rest of this race. Aero Racing and Scuba Steve virtually battling for second place now. They got to stay close to Edwin. Edwin only has 3 laps to try and break away. Kitten Petter just got to stay close, and Edgar is just in a real difficult spot. So we can't count out Aero Racing, Scuba, and Mitch Burns. These guys have got to somehow battle each other for position, as well as close, make sure that gap is close enough to Edwin to potentially getting another position. But he's like betting on Mexico to win the bobsled and the Olympics. Yeah, probably pretty damn close. Now in that regard, you probably have a better bet of betting with the 10-year-old German team than to go with the Mexico team. But yeah, I'd say betting on Evil Prime is like betting on Roger Federer to win the women's Wimbledon when he's not even allowed to compete in it. It's not going to happen. It can't happen. And there we go. Edwin sends us back into it. Not many drivers are caught off. Mitch Burns gets a really good run on Scuba Steve. Scuba Steve should battle this one hard. Aero Racing wants the position, and Scuba goes deep and stays on track. Doesn't use up a limitations penalty here. No. Evil Prime abort. Okay, that's harsh. I didn't say that. But here we go. We're back into it. And, ooh, snap of oversteer from Aero Racing Design. Now he's going to be under some very heavy pressure here from Scuba Steve. He's taking a real poor line here and goes very deep. And now up through turn 8. We got to be careful. And, ooh, a little bit of oversteer there from Aero Racing, but does good to save it. We continue on, and young DJ CJ is trying to get A. Deltoni, and everyone's probably on the fresh softs. Actually, no, Soy Loco's on 9-lap old softs. Kitten Petter staying close to Edwin. That's all he needs to do. But we'll pull up the interval up to the leader. And there you go. Scuba Steve right now would jump up ahead of Edwin. Mitch Burns, though, he is on the outside looking in, and he is slowly losing pace to those drivers ahead. So we might have a completely different podium from what we were anticipating halfway through this race. Edwin setting the fastest lap, putting in bigger fraud than Neymar. But Mitch Burns actually closes that gap back down. We're still without DRS here. We need to go around one more lap. Everyone is probably absolutely bleeding their ERS dry. Kitten Petter's got to stay real tight here. We should have checked how many and Messi put together. Oh, okay. Second part, no. Yeah, we got to be very careful here for Kitten Petter as well as Mitch Burns. He's 4/10 away from a podium position here. He's really got to try and close that gap. The the DRS will help him out, but still he's got to close that gap. Scuba Steve needs to kind of tow him along, and Edgar needs to make a little bit of a mistake here. But Kitten Petter, as it stands right now, is the race winner, but we still have to get to the end. 0 World Cups like Evil Prime's 0 wins. Okay, you guys aren't Ronaldo stans, are you? Now Scuba Steve closing the gap to Aero Racing around the final lap here. It's for all the marbles, ladies and gentlemen. But Edwin, just that penalty is just coming back to absolutely bite him. Kitten Petter, you got to tip your hat to him. He's putting in such a good race. Even with Edwin pushing like he is right now, hasn't allowed him to get too far ahead. Tiak spins around the final corner. Scuba Steve is just teetering on the position of third or no podium, and it is so very tight. The difference might just be the slipstream that he's going to get in the end, where Edwin will not be able to get any. Edgar is most likely going to fall off the podium as it stands right now. Our main battle is, I'm assuming, Edwin and Scuba Steve, who are not technically battling with each other on track, but are battling with each other in the time trial here, as 1/10 separates these guys, and we're on to sector 3, and this is coming down to the wire here. Scuba Steve needs to really make up some ground on this final turn, and he's just teetering outside of that 3-second mark. He's so very close, and a huge penalty to Aero Racing Design. Oh no, on the final turn, Aero Racing is potentially going to fall off the podium here. I don't know how it's going to come and finish out here, but Scuba Steve jumps up into second place, and Edwin is able to take third with Aero Racing's penalty. Oh no. Forza you. Oh Christ, that hurts. That hurts. You hate to see it. Just a devastating penalty for Aero Racing Design. I mean, Erskine Mayo Ross, like if you think it's crazy vibes, just this race, this is every race, my guy. Every Thursday, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Hang out with myself. We go through the divisions of the Midwest F1 League and what is all of the madness that can take place. Yes, I will be doing interviews, Mr. Kittenpetter. We're going to go through the final results here with Kittenpetter up on the top step, Scuba Steve second, GSR Edwin in third, Mitch Burns fourth, Aero Racing Design fifth, Forza Juve sixth, Edgar starting pole and coming seventh, Young DJ CJ in 8th, A Daltonian in 9th, Static Hazard starting 10th, finishing 10th, Evil Prime 11th, Houdini 12th, Soy Loco 13th, Nikki 14th, Sharia 15th, Hightower 16th, Capital 17th, Tiak 18th, and DNF's 2 near Nicks, and Shelly the Turtle. The hardest charger looks like it is Forza Juve, and we'll bring him on actually, so we'll get to the interviews in just a momento. Oh man, you hate to hear that you lost money. We'll just see Kittenpetter here. How many incidences did he have? Kittenpetter. Do. Anyone see his name? Doesn't look like he had a single warning. Oh, here we go. Yeah, 1 warning the entire race. Wow. Yeah, that's Joshy. That's your own fault, to be completely honest. Hey, and Joshy with the follow 8 minutes ago. Thank you very much. Sorry, I was just so enamored by the race that I completely lost focus there. But yes, thank you very much for the follow. Convince that guy Erskine to shoot one as well. And I'll be glad to have you guys hang out and chat. To be honest, that was gross. Oh no, you need to join waiting room. Maybe my bookie was gonna. Yeah. You know, see, that's just. If your bookie was telling you to do that, then you definitely gotta have a conversation with him, because that's some absolutely poor advice, especially a professional like that, to be thinking that in any sort of situation that Evil Prime is to come home with the win. Now, with all due respect to Evil Prime, like, the likeliness of that happening, as well as thank you for the follow, Erskine, the likeliness of that happening is probably similar to the likeliness of, you know what, I don't want to say it because things are changing. I was going to say the Detroit Lions winning a playoff game, but I'm going to actually go with the Seattle Mariners winning the World Series. It's just not in the cards. It's not physically possible. And, you know, the Cubs went through all of their years of sorrow and whatnot, and it's bound for another team to happen, or another driver, and I think it's going to be Evil Prime, to be unfortunate. So unless he can live for over 108 years, then it's going to be a very long time until you're going to get your money back if you ever bet on Evil Prime. Now, to compare Evil Prime to, I think, just a driver, maybe even Hulkenberg, who I think is a better comparison. Just not, can't do it. It's not there. It'll, yeah. Yo, Pork, come into the Discord. Join the waiting room. Or you probably have authority to join the broadcast channel, actually. Oh, he does it.
What do you want?
How much time do you have?
I don't know. How much time do you need?
Well, I mean, do you want to wait for me to talk to Kitten Petter first, or are you short?
Go for it.
Okay, I'll drag him in. No one else has joined. Alright, Kitten Petter, you there? Kitten Petter, you're muted if you don't know that. Yeah?
My bad.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah, I did to my Bluetooth. Didn't mean to do that.
Okay, all good. Alright, let's pull up that bad boy here. So now, is this your first win ever in Midwest?
No, I won like 7 races last season between D4 and D3. 6 or 7.
Oh, okay. So first in Division 2, though. Your highest division race win.
Yeah, this is the first D2 race I've done.
Oh. Well, I'll be damned. So what division did you start in then?
I'm in D3 right now. Currently leading the league in DNFs from pole.
Ah. Now, I wouldn't have been able to predict that because you only had one warning this entire race here.
Yeah, and that was a nothing one too. I think that was the second to last lap around turn 1. I don't even think I went over it, but yeah, I don't know. This is probably my best track overall. So I was expecting to challenge probably for like a top 5, maybe a podium, but yeah, after that first soft stint, I was definitely pretty happy with my pace and where that stacked up against the top 4, at least.
Okay. Yeah, you once Edwin got that penalty, kind of things just seemed to fall in place for you the rest of the race. All you had to do was just follow him through.
Yeah, I was actually I was saving fuel for the most part behind him there. I don't know if you were able to get on stream, but I was backing off probably 200 meters early prior to turn 1 and whatever the turn in the second DRS zone is. But I was backing out pretty early because I was thinking it was going to be kind of close on fuel, and just given the flow of the race, seemed like everybody was keeping it pretty clean, so didn't want to risk that. But I think I did it a little too aggressively because I don't know when it was, probably lap 18, 19, 20. Evan just kind of hit another gear, dropped me from DRS, but thankfully I was at about a second and a half.
No, I saw that. I don't know what came over him there. He just, like you said, he just found another gear he forgot he had or something. But still.
He was eating me off that last corner. He was probably gaining 3 or 4 tenths just off that final corner. I know he was running a lot higher downforce. I could have made a move when I was in DRS, but I figured with his time penalty and the proximity to everyone behind us, there was really no point of forcing the issue.
Yeah, exactly that. And then the safety car kind of it changed things a little bit for you, but you're still in a fairly comfortable position once that came in, especially with the driver behind Edgar actually having his 5-second penalty. So that was really that I imagine that was a real weight off your shoulder once Edgar got that 5-second.
Yeah, it definitely helped me out. Just seeing how both of them are GSR, I can't really tell the difference between them.
Try commentating it, dude.
But I can't really, like, when you're in the heat of the moment like that, I can't really tell which one's which.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely, I have no idea what that was even for. You didn't hit me, I don't think, or anything like that. So I'm not really sure. But thankfully I was able to keep him behind me. I know I was pretty concerned still about Aero Racing Design there behind him. We had like a 20 lap battle in France a few weeks ago. I know how close we are. That said, I think in that first stint, he started to tail off a little bit towards the end of the stint. So definitely took a lot of weight off my shoulders. I feel like I get screwed by a lot of safety cars late. So it was definitely nice.
Yeah, it didn't really change much at all other than Edgar kind of losing the podium. Aero Racing is actually kind of a heartbreaking one there. I don't know if you saw, but he got a penalty on the very last turn and dropped him all the way down, or else he would have been on the third step with you.
Ooh, yeah, that's a tough there.
Yeah, quite the rough go. But you're going back down to Division 3, I'm assuming, after this race. You're going to Spain next. What's your confidence level going there?
I'm not entirely sure. Spain's really have no strong feelings for or against it. It's just kind of a whatever track.
Yeah.
It's probably not my best or anywhere close to my best, but hopefully after not really having much luck this year, only having like one podium in D3, I think coming up here winning in D2, hopefully that gives me the confidence I need going forward.
And give you a whole hell of a lot of points as well. So congratulations and best of luck in your Division 3 journey.
And I also want to thank my close personal monster, Busch Light.
Nice. There you go. So yeah, you go enjoy one there. Enjoy a couple with the race win. You're almost to the weekend. You can cheat a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? I work from home on Fridays anyways. I think I'm probably gonna.
Oh, easy.
Somewhere, I think the forecast is calling for between 7 and 10.
Bailey's and coffee and all.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Let's get this party going.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. Thanks for coming into the interview. Oh, Edwin's finally joined up. Pork, you got a couple more minutes?
I got some time.
Okay, all right. Edwin, can you unmute your mic, please? Maybe. Edwin, you're muted. Come on, you can do it. All right, he's lost his turn. All right, Pork, what happened in Division 3 today, my guy?
We started dry, went to wet, and then ended in the dry.
Oh, so where did you finish?
I think I got 7th after my 3-second penalty. I was across the line 6th, but Grim was, I think, just over 2 seconds behind.
So now I'm thinking that you made all these divisions just to find the perfect one for you.
I'm trying. I still haven't found it yet.
You've been doing pretty good.
I think I need to go to 4.
What?
Bring some guys up. Yeah. Actually, maybe 5. Yeah, if I go to 5, we should be good.
You're sitting 3rd right now, though. Why?
Let's not talk about that.
Oh, okay. You want to be one of those guys. I'm gonna make.
No, it's all it is consistency.
Just
making sure you finish the races and points will come. My DNF at Spa did not help.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Scavney's just been lighting it up with that this year, as Edwin leaves. All right. Scavney's leading the league right now, though, man, or leading Division 1.
That is not surprising, to be honest.
Oh, really? I think that's
the dude has got crazy speed, and he's consistent. Remember, he's the better version of me.
Yeah. But you're not a whole hell of a lot, though.
No, I'm not. He's like a level 10, me, and I'm a level 1.
Nah, you're level 3.
Okay, fair enough. 3.
Yeah. But, how many podiums do you have now in Division 3?
2.
Okay.
1 that was after time penalties, I got 3rd. And then Baku this season, I just barely nicked a P2. And that's all I got.
So, are you able to decide and choose some emotes for this emote contest?
Oh, shit. I think so.
Now,
Where we go?
it's
Let's
really
see here.
easy because the first like bunch are actual emotes. Then from that point on, it's all just like bullshit. So everything's pretty much at the top.
Well, I would be. I'd be lying if I said the Shut Up JC one wasn't perfect.
We can't have that. That's a Discord one.
Let's see here.
Now I think.
How many do you want me to pick here?
Well, we can rotate. We need 7.
7. Holy crap.
So here I'll pick the first one. Then we just rotate until we hit to 7. So I'll pick 4. You pick 3. Because I've looked at these.
Alright.
I've looked at these probably more than you have.
Absolutely have.
Okay. So I'll pick the JC Blackley flip spinning, and it looks like Monza by Shelly the Turtle.
In the McLaren?
Yeah, in the McLaren.
That's a pretty solid one. I like that.
Yeah.
I've got to go with the Under Investigation by Hotspot.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. Here we go. I'll do the Raging Toto by KD.
Raging Toto by KD. Let's see. Oh, just the still image? Because Chief posted the GIF of it.
Oh, where's the GIF?
The animated one.
I don't think we can do the full GIF of it. Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate. The bow toss tradition.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so that's 2 for you now. I'll do... You know what? I'm gonna throw a curveball here. I'm gonna do... I just had an idea of one. We should need to do a shoey one.
Hey, speaking of shoeys,
Yeah.
Cake, I know you're watching.
Yeah. Cake.
You owe us a shoey.
He does. Told him to go right up on YouTube as well.
I'll even allow a Red Bull
Yeah.
because he drives a Red Bull.
There's a McLaren one too in Division 1, hey?
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have kept sim damage.
Okay, you've got one more to pick.
One more?
Mm-hmm.
The Sergio at the very top.
Okay. I thought so. If you weren't going to choose, then I was going to choose it. And then I'll do the Christian Horner one right below it.
Sounds great.
Okay, there we go. So there's our 7. We got to remember Shuey is one of them.
Yes.
So actually the 6th. But yeah, so I don't know if you know, but I purchased a couple things under the Midwest account for the 2 winners that we'll be giving these to in the end. I'd imagine that it'd be on the shipping order or whatever, or the purchase order through your shop.
Okay.
So we've got 3 things up for grabs that the 2 finalists will be able to select, or the 2 winners will be able to select. If I can just pull it up here. Where is it? Okay, large shorts, a snapback hat, and an extra large gray t-shirt. So we'll pull up these emotes and we'll decide on the 2 finalists, or the 2 winners, and those 2 guys will get some free merch, courtesy of the team or the league. We need to do another giveaway or something, or another contest or something like that. Gets the people going.
Indeed.
But yeah. Alright, anyway, I'm going to close this stream down. But yeah, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out Raise and EPOS, Raise and EPOS in chat. We'll bring you up to the links for both the websites.
New flavor of Raise coming out soon. I think it releases tomorrow or next week.
Okay.
Prickly pear.
Oh, I need to order some more, man. It's I need to ship them to you to ship them to me again. Or how, is that how I did it last time?
I don't remember.
That's my way of getting stuff here. I did that with my oh Christ, what the hell are those stupid things? What's in Gatorade? Electrolytes, my electrolyte packets. I couldn't ship them to Canada, so I shipped them to you guys, and you guys shipped them to me.
Oh, yeah, Helg was telling me about that.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. But anywho, yeah, thank you for tuning in. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Go check it out. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you, Eskrin Mayo Ross, and Joshy for keeping the chat lively today. Appreciate that. Congratulations again to Kit and Petter, as well as the McLaren 1-2. And best of luck in your future races there, Pork Chops. Thank you, everyone, for